likes for you so far this first month at Ohio State?
It's been a great experience here, coming from Miami, from the bottom of the map. Having to adapt to the cold. It's just been a different experience, but I love it up here. It's real cool. I really like it.
What has been the toughest adjustment for you so far?
The weather. Being from Miami, it doesn't drop below 70, so it's like coming down here, it was 1 degree a couple days, so it's like really the weather was just the biggest thing.
What are your first impressions of Coach Walton?
He's a very cool, humble guy. He just wants to see everybody push themselves. He wants to push everybody to their limits and to see like what they can do.
Was that hard for you after being recruited, by Coach Combs to, then have him leave just a couple weeks after you got here?
It wasn't hard. I would say it was a big change. Like, it was a big shock. Like, whoa, these are the coaches that recruited me. But I feel like it's a business, and with the business, that's what happens.
So you never had any second thoughts? You feel like you're where you're supposed to be?
I love Coach Day. I want to be here.
What about Coach Day? What is it about Coach Day that made you want to play for him?
He's a very great coach. He cares about my family. During my recruitment process, he was always close with me. He always checked in on me, and it's just I felt like he always cared about me.
Describe your game out there, Ryan. What do you do well? What do you feel like how would you describe your game?
I'm a very physical corner, and I play with a lot of technique.
And there seems to be a need for a freshman corner to play this year. Maybe not necessarily start, but play certainly. I mean, what are your expectations for your freshman year?
I want to play. I want to play. That's my expectations.
You were a guy who was kind of an unheralded recruit. Does that give you kind of something to prove, an extra chip on your shoulder?
No, not really. I don't really care about rankings. Rankings don't make me. So.
How does Ohio State get a guy from Florida who could have gone to a lot of schools in the South? What did Ohio State do to get you to come up here?
They recruit very well. They recruit very well, and I feel like they showed a lot of love, and I feel like I'm a very good fit for Ohio State, and they're a very good fit for me, and I want to win a natty. So I came to the school that winning the natty.
Who was the runner-up? If it wasn't Ohio State, who would it have been? Clemson?
What was it that made Ohio State ultimately the school for you? Was there a moment that you realized Ohio State's the place for me?
I came up here like 4 or 5 times. I just felt like this was home. I felt just good being in Columbus. Like, I just felt like it was home. Like,
was there a different feeling being here than you had at Clemson?
No, not really. I would just say it's a good fit for me. It's a better fit than Clemson. So.
What was the first time that Ohio State even became a possibility in your head? Like, what was it? Was it somebody contacted you, or did you just watch a game and think, oh, I might like those guys? What was the first thing?
I always loved Ohio State. It was DBU. I always loved Coach Combs. I always loved Coach Barnes. So it's like thinking about me playing for Ohio State. Even before I had the offer, I'm like, I want to go to Ohio State. I want to play with the big dogs. And when I got the offer, I'm like, I just got an offer from Ohio State. Like, it's crazy. So they were always like top 3 in my head. So.
When you say DBU, who are the guys that pop to mind? The guys that have been here at Ohio State?
Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, Von Bell, be going to the Super Bowl. Hope they win. Guys like that.
Okay, and so that is a factor, right?
Yes.
When in your recruiting, you want to go to a place where guys at your position have had success. Okay. How important is that in your decision?
I feel like that's very important, having that Coach Dunn was here.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was very important because I feel like he developed them and he coached them very well to where they are at today.
Yep.
Who offered first, Clemson or Ohio State?
Clemson.
So was that the first really big? I know you had some good offers, but was that the first really big one? And then Ohio State was like, you looked at that as the one, the big one.
Like, they offered me, and then my recruitment just took off.
Did you say was it close? Go ahead.
When did you maybe first get the idea of I can play college football? Like, were you tearing it up when you were in 3rd grade, or like did you all of a sudden explode in high school? When did you realize you were good at this?
I always felt like I was good at football, and I felt like I could go to school for free at the D1 level. So I felt like at an early age, I felt like I could go D1.
Okay. Were you defense early on, or were you?
I mean, I played both.
You played both.
In optimist football, I played both, and then my last year optimist football, my dad he switched me to corner because he knew. I don't know how he knew, but he had a feeling that my future was gonna be. So
Okay.
he just
That's right.
stuck there.
Like everybody wants to catch the ball, but if you have those skills, corner can be where the money's at, man. There are other dads. I think there's some smart dads around here, man, who are like, "Hey, my kid's pretty good. I'm gonna make him a corner." Were you hesitant at all? Were you like, "Oh man, I love catching touchdowns"?
Very. I mean, me being young, you wanna catch touchdowns. You wanna be the man. But it's like him changing me to corner. I was like, I don't know. And then he only had me playing just corner. He didn't want me playing offense and nothing like that. So it was like, I want to play offense too. I don't want to play just corner. But I was good at it. I've been working since I started playing corner in the 8th grade. So I've been working since the 8th grade and got me here. So I thank him a lot for that.
Okay. Does he remind you that I was right? See, Ryan, I knew it was right. Yeah. Dad always knows best, right? Oh, man.
I keep going back to this, but how close was it between Ohio State and Clemson? Was it like really close, or was it like once Ohio State offered, you knew?
It was close.
It was pretty close. Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, there's been a lot of changes with, you know, the defensive backs coach and things like that, but how much have you gotten to know Perry and Tim Walton, and like, what are your impressions of them?
I like the coaches a lot. I like Coach Walton a lot. He's a very good coach. You know, he coached Jalen Ramsey. He preached that a lot. He preached that he always pushed Jalen Ramsey, no matter how big Jalen Ramsey, no matter how good Jalen Ramsey is. He always pushed him. He never treated him like he was the number one corner in the NFL. He always pushed him no matter what.
Was NFL development something that was, you know, key for you? You know, when picking a school, you're like, stay here 3-4 years, and then you want to get off to the NFL. Was that on your mind as you were picking a school, or did that was that just an added bonus with Tim Walton?
Really just a bonus.
Okay.
Really just a bonus.